we're the stuff, and we're here again, still rocking at the Cleveland Concoction, having a good time. And I had the pleasure, Mike and I, to listen to this amazing song inspired by Harry Potter from this wonderful woman. So, first off, who are you?
My band is called Tonks and the Aurors, but my name is Steph Anderson, and I am Tonks and the Aurors, basically.
Okay.
So yeah, and I play all rock music about Harry Potter, particularly which we call wizard rock. And then
Hold on.
Yep.
I'm going to get this for you. I'm so glad I wrote it. It will be used only in your interview today.
Perfect.
Yes.
So when you play rock music about Harry Potter, that's called wizard rock. And there are hundreds of bands worldwide. And basically from there, we've kind of branched into rock music about other nerdy things. A lot of book series, like young adults novels like The Hunger Games, and books by John Green, so Nerd Fighter rock, stuff like that. So it's been really cool to start focusing just on Harry Potter and kind of moving in other directions, but still I keep coming back to it. I can't, I'll write an album about something else and then I have to come back and write another Harry Potter
Because it
album.
doesn't want to let you go.
Exactly.
Absolutely love it.
It's a life choice, not like a fad,
It is. So, how did you get into the whole music thing to begin with?
In general or for nerd music?
Well, in general first, then we'll get to the nerd
Okay,
part.
we'll go. Okay. Well, I started playing trumpet in middle school. Everybody has to start in middle school band.
Right.
But then I picked up guitar at the same time. So I played guitar and trumpet concurrently for years. And so I've been playing guitar for over 17 years.
Okay.
So it's just been a process, and then pretty much immediately, as soon as I started getting bored with what I was being taught in lessons, I had to start writing to keep myself interested in continuing to grow as a musician. So I started writing just regular rock songs in high school, like early high school, and I played in a bunch of bands and went to college and did open mics and garage bands.
So your song's angry and antsy because you were young and you were a teenager?
Some of them were. Some of them, I was also a nerd who wasn't getting a lot of love. So there was a lot of love songs and stuff in there. So
Some heartbreak.
Exactly. So yeah, that's where music in general, it's always been around me, but playing, that was kind of my journey from there.
Okay. So how did we filter over from just doing the music, writing it, and now we're going to just focus on, this geek stuff is good?
Yeah. Well, first I started reading Harry Potter, and
Smart move.
exactly when book 3 was just released, so it was pretty early on. And then, as things went on, this band called Harry and the Potters formed in Massachusetts.
Okay.
And the DeGeorge brothers of Harry and the Potters would tour a lot, so my sister and I were super into Harry Potter, and I was starting to listen to this wizard rock stuff, so we went to one of their shows, and Draco and the Malfoys opened for them, who are like their foil, basically,
Okay.
for, they all sing about evil wizard rock and stuff, and I was a fan of wizard rock from day one.
Okay.
I found it was rock and roll, it was really DIY, it was really punk rock, because I was into the indie rock scene and the punk rock scene of just do it yourself, figure it out on your own. And after years and years of going, I could totally do that. Finally, after book 7 came out, I was like, I keep saying I can do it, I should. And so I just sat down and I wrote 3 songs. I recorded them on my MacBook, and or my PowerBook back then, and uploaded them to MySpace, and it exploded. It was wizard rock is cool because you have this guaranteed group of small group of fans, of hardcore fans. So when a new band kind of crops up, they all immediately flock to it. And then you'll kind of get people from here and there on the outskirts of fandom, basically, of going, oh, you're really good, or I like your style, or I like this song, so I'm going to be a fan of you. So it's a really easy step into being able to kind of play events really quickly and stuff like that. So yeah, within the first month I booked a ton of shows, and then within 6 months I went on my first tour. So,
serious?
Yeah. I think I might be a little more a go-getter than some people, where I was like, and I was studying stage management in college, so I could plan and manage things and stuff like that. But yeah, it was within that first 6 months that I was on the road, and I did a huge, like, 10-day tour all the way down to Florida and back.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That really is awesome.
Right.
So are you out of school now?
I'm out of school. I'm out of grad school. I've been working full-time for 5 years now, and I work for Apple, actually, and they let me, you know, take time off and travel and do all that. And it is. And I go on tour for 2 weeks every year, and I will play in almost exclusively libraries, too. That's the other thing, is, like, playing cons is kind of an icing on the cake for us, because our mission, what it boils down to, is singing rock music about books, because we want kids to keep reading, and we want young adults and then adults to continue to foster that love of reading, and then libraries. So we play a ton of libraries every year. Like, I've played hundreds of libraries.
So for the kids in the back of the audience, I want you to really think about this and put this together. She got into music, and like, it seems this is a very realistic formula because she's doing it. She got into music, then she found her niche. She found something she liked, and she saw an audience that connected with that. Got into that niche, blew up. Now she does tours. She goes around the country singing the music she likes. She's got a good job that allows her to do it. I'm not saying everyone's situation is going to be like this, and
Right.
but it is plausible. It
Yeah.
happens. And I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a shining fact that shines with you is that you're doing music about the books. So a place like the library say, oh yeah, come sing. The library's quiet. So you get to sing at the library about reading books. And it's like, hey, now go pick up that book that I just saw.
I've played full band shows with drums and bass and electric guitars inside of libraries. It's awesome. I mean, there's no cooler place to do a show like that, because it's one of those, like, you can't do a show here, you know, it's so quiet, and it is, it's very reserved. And sometimes you really have to convince a librarian to let you do it, but once you do it once, it's awesome, because also libraries, you know, yeah, they're marketing to their base, we're marketing to our base, and it's all like a shared DIY benefit of each other. I think that's the main base. Is people always ask, like, what is wizard rock or nerd rock kind of based out of? And it really is, you know, it's not punk rock or hip hop or anything like that. It's the DIY movement. It's, if I can't book a show, if this bar won't let me play because I want to play to an all ages event, I'm gonna just find a room to play in, and that's, for us, it was libraries.
And I want to talk about the song here.
Yeah.
I know it's not, you know, you can't count it as actual Harry Potter canon, but as you were singing the song,
Yeah.
I was like, that's a real believable story.
Yeah.
Like, that could fit in there as like a side arc in a Harry Potter series.
I did myself a slight disservice because I picked a character to sing about that not a lot of people remember. So
I remember him.
Exactly. So, like, Tonks is, like, she's my favorite character, period. And she gets to marry Remus Lupin, so that's a huge bonus. Like, you get to marry somebody awesome, and then you get to sing about that person. So, the one thing about Harry Potter is, and doing Wizard Rock, is you have to do a lot of research. You're writing songs, and if you sing something incorrectly, and heaven forbid, put it on an album, people will call you out on it.
They will.
Go, like I put something on a song where it's kind of stepping out of the character of Tonks and just singing about, in general, about Harry Potter, and I said something about Blast-Ended Scroots, and they didn't exist at the time that Tonks was at Hogwarts, so people call me out, so I'm like, so it is, it's one of those things.
I called veto on that. I would say they existed in the world, they just weren't introduced in the book until that time.
Exactly.
So I would say those, go buy our songs, so just being nitpicky.
Yeah.
That still exists.
Great, and so it was one of those things of, I did some research, I realized that Tonks and Charlie Weasley were at Hogwarts at the same time. For some reason, Molly Weasley has always been very nice to Tonks, and it makes you believe that Molly has met Tonks before the Order of the Phoenix formed.
Right.
They have a relationship that is clearly deeper than just those few months when they first get introduced together in the books. So for me, I was like, connecting all these dots of she's probably either hung out with the Weasley kids or dated one. And then it's just a joke of, I mean, we've all dated that person where there was that thing that they were too focused on that it sacrificed the relationship. And so that's where it came from. Charlie had to go off to Romania, and so we had to break up so he could go be with dragons forever.
I mean, the song's awesome.
Yeah.
So, another side note, I want to hit people over the head with it. Is, she's obviously doing something that she loves, that she enjoys, and that stuff doesn't come easy. I mean, key words that you're saying here is like, you have to research it.
Yeah.
So not only are you reading the books, but you're reading side canon, you're trying to find out as much as you can so your songs make sense, so you sound legitimate.
Yeah.
The only way that song sounded good, it sounded like it could fit in the stories because of the research you did.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what you're doing, it's fun, it's awesome, but it's not easy. It's not something you're just going to say, all right, I'm going to go write a song.
Exactly.
You know?
It's not. I mean, I have paperback copies of all the books that
looking at the
look like they have been through the ringer. And I have multiple copies because those copies are just for songwriting purposes.
Right.
They have flags and writing and stuff like that all over them, and that's what they're there for. I have my display copies that have,
So
you
do
know,
I.
exactly. But those ones are the ones that I go to when I'm like, all right, it's time to write this song. I don't remember how this scene played out, so let me read through these pages again.
So, last question, and of course we're going to have your information pop up here,
Yeah,
like right
absolutely.
here, where people can see it.
Come see us.
Are you excited about the new Harry Potter spin-off show?
I am extremely excited.
I didn't know it was coming out.
I know.
I didn't know if you're like...
There's so many things about it. It's supposed to be set in New York. Think of how much do we know about the wizarding world outside of Europe and
know
the
nothing.
UK? We know nothing.
I didn't know that. That's really nice.
Have you? And I've spent hours going, what does the wizarding world look like in America? What do they do? How do they hide it? America's super nosy, and like we've got like government that's all in on
Right.
things. So it's like, how do we keep this hidden? And so I'm really excited, and the fact that J.K. Rowling is writing it and has a lot of oversight, I think we'll get probably truer to her vision adaptations or presentations of what she wants than necessarily some of the movies.
See, now I didn't know it was going to have footholds in America. I didn't know that. That is very interesting tip, because honestly, I'm very in love with the original series,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I kind of like, I don't want, if it doesn't have Harry and his room in it, I'm not interested in it.
See, really, like, I love J.K. Rowling's so good at all of her side characters. That's why I love Tonks, why I love Remus, why I love all these people. Like, Harry Potter's probably on the low end of my favorite characters if you were to stack them all up.
Right.
Just because he's kind of an asshole, he's kind of whiny, you know, like,
Well, he's not like, I mean, I love Harry
But he was
Potter.
also a teenage boy.
Right.
So it's like, so now, like, it's this presentation of the more, it almost seems like they were like, we want to release movies for all of the people that have grown up with this, because now they're
Hungry for more.
they're like, and they're teens to adults, so they might be really interested in seeing what does this adult side of things look like? What does the adult world bring? The adventurers, the wizards that are living every day outside of the bubble of school. So it almost kind of seems like they recognize that, hey, these people are older now. They'd probably be more interested than just what's happening to kids.
So you would say Tonks is your favorite character?
Tonks is, yes.
Snape is my favorite.
Snape, why do you love Snape? Not to
Because,
interview you.
no,
but,
it's fine. I love answering this question. Because Snape is the true hero of the whole.
You think so?
I mean, for what he did and what he had to go through and he dealt
Yeah.
with, and to come out and still be the good guy the whole time, even though his reasoning was selfish and because he loved her mom and he never really liked Harry Potter,
Yeah.
but to still do all that to protect him.
My one question is, did he need to be such an asshole?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did, because he did not like Harry's dad, and Harry acted just like his dad. I mean, you can't beat Snape in the books, but the guy who played him, I'm horrible with names.
Alan
Everyone knows
Rickman.
him. Yes.
Yeah.
He was perfect.
He
Like he
was.
just walked up,
I can't
smacked him
deny
in the back of their
that. I
head.
can't deny that.
Perfect.
I'm just not a Snape fangirl.
Well, you're holding his wine. That's the one wine. He is my favorite. And then I do love Harry. I am a big like main star guy. Like he's heroic. He always has good intentions. But
I mean, he's awesome, and we wouldn't have all of this without him. So.
But you bring up a very good point. The supporting cast makes the movie. And that Harry Potter series is an amazing sport.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, this was awesome talking to you.
I've been really enjoying it myself too.
We are probably going to talk more after the interview.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. So are you here just for today, or are you back tomorrow?
I'm here for today. I won't be back tomorrow, unfortunately, but I've got to start prepping because I'm going on tour from June 23rd to July 3rd.
And where are you touring?
We're doing Indianapolis, Chicago, St. Louis, Huntsville, Alabama, Decatur, Georgia, Greensboro, North Carolina, probably somewhere in New Jersey, 2 shows in New York, and then Pittsburgh and Ann Arbor, Michigan.
All right. So, let out, guys. It can happen. She's doing it. She's living it.
Come out, and if you are like, I want to make music, whether it's about nerdy stuff or I just want to make music and make it happen, ask me. I'm on Twitter at Tonks and the Aurors, and I am always happy to help and talk to people about just making it happen.
Well, thank you for being on our show.
Hey,
Love to have you. All right. We'll catch you guys in the next one.
When you get involved with boys who would rather mess around with dragons. Charlie Weasley, you're so dreamy. After 2 years together, this might be love. But now you're leaving for Romania, and I may never see you again. Because it's becoming clear Charlie Weasley doesn't really love me. He only loves his dragons, and I know he's never gonna change. Charlie Weasley, you said you'd always love me, but you're in love with dragons, and I know you'll always be the same. Weekends at the Burrow have been pretty fun, and I like your family quite a lot. Before my birthday, you got me a dragon skull, and for our anniversary, you just scored. So I think it's time to talk this out. Charlie Weasley doesn't really love me, he only loves his dragons, and I know he's never wrong. Charlie Weasley, you said you always love me, but you're in love with dragons, and I know you'll always be the same. So Charlie, baby, don't you worry. Third degree burns don't hurt after a while. So Charlie, sweetheart, give us a try. 'Cause if you can't commit, I'll have to say goodbye. Charlie Weasley doesn't really love me, he only loves his dragons, and I know he's never gonna change. Charlie Weasley said he always loved me, but you're in love with dragons, and I know you'll always